We as humans and our senses are relatively blind to the mysteries of the entire cosmos. This fact is perhaps best depicted by an image that represents the percentage of our knowledge. The green section represents the percentage of knowledge that we know. The blue section represents the percentage of knowledge that we know we don't know, but we have some good ideas about it. The red section, however, represents the things that we don't even know that we don't know. In this vast sea of blue and red, there is something that modern science calls dark energy. Today, we will talk about this mysterious force, a force that constitutes a huge part of our ignorance in this infinite universe. Welcome to the Dark Side of Reality channel. What is dark energy? In short, it's energy that is dark. Thank you all for watching and see you next time. Just kidding. Today I'm actually making a serious video that most of you won't mind, because today we're going to talk about a really mysterious force that baffles all scientists today. When I said at the beginning of today's video that we are blind with healthy eyes, I meant it literally. Today we will talk about dark energies. We humans have really limited senses that function very well in our daily lives and serve for a long time. However, those senses aren't nearly enough when we scratch the surface of what actually makes up this world and the reality around us. Here's a great example that virtually anyone can experiment with now. The vast majority of you have a mobile device with a camera and a television with a remote control. Check it out. The top of that remote, there should be a little button covered in red plastic. Change the TV channel and watch that button. What do you see? Absolutely nothing. However, infrared light is emitted from that button, which interacts with the TV's sensor and passes through the space in your room. The same invisible light is very present here, but it is not visible to your eyes. Now take your phone, turn on the camera and watch the remote control through the phone screen. Press any button and something magical happens. Infrared light becomes visible to your eyes. This is because your phone's camera sensors can capture a wider range of light than your eyes. That's why sometimes people record UFOs or other phenomena with their cameras or phones that they didn't even notice with their own eyes. This little experiment you can do at home literally proves that our eyes and basic senses are blind to many things that surround us in this universe. Our ears can only hear a certain range of frequencies. Our eyes can only see a certain spectrum of electromagnetic radiation, which is light. For everything else, we need various machines and devices, but sensors help us discover the cosmic mysteries that surround us. From microscopes that look at incredibly small things that we can't see with the naked eye, to the James telescope that looks at unimaginably great distances, despite our seemingly incredible and precise technology and scientific development, only a staggering 4–6% of the known things in the universe are known. Of that 4–6%, only 1% is visible to the naked eye, while the rest has been discovered using science and various technologies. We are talking about various types of radiation, ultraviolet light that we personally cannot see. But what is interesting, bees can see it, and even infrared light. These few percentages include what we know and what we don't know. Everything else is a big unknown, and that includes dark energy and dark matter. Dark matter makes up about 26% of the universe, and we will talk about it in another video, and dark energy, which makes up almost 70% of our universe. Dark energy is, simply put, an unknown form of energy that affects the universe on a massive scale. It is called dark energy because we cannot see or detect it. It could easily be called mysterious energy, but science does not support such unscientific terms. So we got the term dark energy. The story takes us back to the beginning of the 20th century and Albert Einstein, who in 1915 devised the revolutionary theory of general relativity, which talks about unfixed space and time. He tried to adapt his equations to the entire universe and immediately faced a significant problem because at the time most scientists, including Albert Einstein, believed that the universe was static, meaning that the concepts of the universe contracting or expanding were not popular. Einstein had another big problem at the time. The actual size of the universe was not known. Astronomers believed that our galaxy was actually the entire universe, and we didn't even know about the existence of other galaxies. Einstein's attempt to apply his theory to the entire universe resulted in contradictory results, showing that the universe cannot be static. To solve this problem, he introduced something called the cosmological constant, which he tried to use to balance his equations and confirm a static universe. However, this attempt was unsuccessful because the universe was still unstable. Einstein actually discovered that the universe is dynamic, that it either contracts or expands. Instead of pursuing this direction, he attempted to stabilize a static universe, which he was never able to do. He soon declared that it was his greatest mistake in life. In the end, it was the Russian physicist and mathematician Alexander Friedman who solved the problem in 1922 with new mathematics that showed the universe could not be static. There were only two options. Either the universe contracts or it expands. Then, in 1929, Edwin Hubble entered the scene and discovered that the universe was actually expanding. All of this is connected to dark energy, which would soon come onto the scene. What shocked scientists in the 1990 seconds was that the universe was expanding faster and faster, which no one could predict. Based on gravitational effects, almost everyone expected the universe to be slowing down, much like when you throw a ball into the air. The ball accelerates to a certain point, then slows down, stops, and falls back due to the force of gravity. The ball simply won't keep accelerating faster and faster. The expansion of the universe was a huge shock for scientists, but the data were correct. What was actually happening and what force was overpowering gravity and accelerating matter and energy, which we cannot see or detect, but which is clearly there and accelerating our universe. Scientists, of course, called this force dark energy. We can't directly observe or mark this energy, but we know that together with dark matter, it makes up the vast majority of our universe. What kind of force can overpower and destroy the effects of gravity on cosmic scales? Gravity is actually a very weak force, which may be surprising to some people because it shapes and creates huge celestial bodies and planets. But the strength of this force is actually very weak. You can see this every time you stand up from a chair, every time you lift or jump for a split second. You are actually overcoming the gravity of the entire planet with your body. The force is so weak, but it's also never exhausted. You can never escape it. Dark energy does just that. It overpowers the known forces in the universe like gravity, and it's accelerating our universe faster and faster. Strange things happen here because dark energy apparently does not act on smaller scales, because if it did, a ball thrown into the air would accelerate faster and faster as we added more and more force. It's clear that on smaller scales, gravity dominates, but on larger scales, dark energy does, and the question arises, what is dark energy? No scientist has a reliable answer to this question. All we have are hypotheses, and one personally compelling hypothesis suggests that dark energy is actually the infamous vacuum energy and quantum field that generates matter, such as the so-called fifth force responsible for negative pressure that accelerates our universe. If this energy comes from such a field, you can imagine the effect of blowing air into a children's balloon, where the surface of the balloon is the space of the universe that expands in all directions, and the gravitational force would be the surface tension of the balloon rubber, which tends to contract the balloon. Dark energy would be the air that we blow into the balloon, and the air that overcomes this surface tension of rubber gravity. We are actually on the surface of this balloon, trying to understand what the air is. That is dark energy. Unfortunately, I cannot offer a better comparison to visualize this problem and the mysteries of the universe, as some of the smartest people on the planet are trying to solve such problems, but have not succeeded yet. However, as history has shown us, I think it is only a matter of time before we actually understand this mystery of the universe. If you're wondering what dark energy is accelerating us towards, the most realistic hypothesis, in my personal opinion, and I'm not a scientist, is that it will take us to a huge black hole, after which the universe will cyclically regenerate in a white hole. One thing is certain. Someday, with the discovery of the mechanisms behind this dark energy, we will almost certainly discover the mechanisms that will allow us to make incredible advances in our technology and science. But such discoveries would also require parallel developments in our consciousness, which is quite limited by our physical sensors, because if 95% of our universe is an undiscovered unknown containing things we don't even know we don't know, what do you think the impact would be on our development if we understood even the next 5%? If the current 5% has led us to this stage of development today, the next 5% would be twice as much knowledge as we have now, and such a world would be completely unrecognizable compared to today. It is very difficult to visualize such things, let alone predict them, and dark energy is one of the keys to understanding the universe and the reality around us. Thank you all for watching, and you are on the dark side of reality channel, where truth sometimes sounds stranger than fiction. See you soon. Goodbye.